Lloyd George's demands. The British Prime Minister, David Lloyd George, on the left, represented Britain's interests at the Paris Peace Conference. Lloyd George represented the middle ground between Clemenceau's revenge and Wilson's reconciliation. Although Britain had been a key ally during World War One, none of the fighting had taken place on British soil. So, although there was a high price in financial cost and human life, Britain did not suffer the territorial devastation that France had suffered. World War One led to the deaths of 700,000 men. Almost all families had been affected by the war in one way or another. Parents had lost their sons, wives had lost their husbands, and children had lost their fathers. The post war economy was fragile and there was much hardship. The scars of war would influence Britain's approach to the rise of Hitler and Neville Chamberlain's policy of appeasement, content which comes up later on in the IGCSE history curriculum. Lloyd George's demands needed to strike a balance between the British public's desire to see Germany punished and his own understanding that an overly weakened Germany would not serve Britain's interests in the long run. Lloyd George had a desire for international trade to resume, so Europe could return to its pre war economic prosperity. Germany had been Britain's second largest trading partner before the war, and an economically weak Germany was not good for Britain. Therefore, he resisted Clemenceau's demands, which would cripple Germany. Not surprisingly, Lloyd George's demands were rooted in British self interest. Reparations would help them pay off their war debts. Germany's colonies would add territory to the British Empire, and a reduction in Germany's navy would strengthen Britain's dominance over the seas. A stable Germany would help keep communism in the East at bay and stop France from becoming the dominant power on the continent. Lloyd George was a pragmatist and tried to balance the terms to best suit Britain while being willing to compromise. Lloyd George's demands come up both individually as 4 and 6 point questions, as well as in comparative 10-point questions.